Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our Fall Create It Creativity program here at the Mornville Community Library, where we look at building and expanding on your creative side using a multitude of items and techniques. My name is Shelley, and I'm an assistant to the adult programming here. And this month, since we're into fall, I thought it would be great to play with some decoupage. And that's so what we're going to be creating today is we're going to be creating this fall bowl. And this is great for putting candies into, or you can put some potpourri into it and a little, say, battery powered tea light into there as well. You'd get such a beautiful refraction of the light through all these leaves here. So this is what we're going to be doing is we're going to get a little messy with some decoupage. So this here is ultimately what we're looking to create today is we are going to be building the bowl around this balloon. And for those that may have challenges blowing up their balloons, I did go ahead earlier and blow up all the balloons once with one of those pump blow up guys. And that, so they shouldn't be as hard to blow up. But for those that do have lung issues or other difficulties, what you can do is you can take the bowl itself, turn it over. So you want something that's a bit more on the smaller side. This one here is a bit smaller, but we use this because there's some liquid in there. Cover this with some saran wrap. And basically you can do the exact same technique that we're going to be doing around the balloon. I just found the balloon gave it a little bit more shape. So you can choose which works best for you. But again, if you are having issues with the balloon, you can certainly just grab any bowl on the smaller side and we will be covering that with some saran wrap and you'll be good to go. So in your kit, you'll notice that there's obviously a balloon. There is a selection of different leaves that are in there. There should be 25 leaves in each kit. You're going to find some glue that's in there. And then we're also going to have our little sponge and that. So what I would suggest is get down some newspaper or something onto the counter and just to, keep your surface otherwise clean. The other thing that I would recommend having also is like a wet paper towel handy because this is going to get a bit messy. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to fill up a small container with our glue, and we're pretty much going to use most of this. If you're finding your glue is on the thick side, you can certainly add a little bit of water to it, and that will just thin it out enough to make it very pliable for you to sponge it on. So that is our glue. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take this balloon out of here and I'm going to blow up this other guy. So just give me a second with that. Now you don't want to go too big because we only have 25 leaves to go around it. But again, we're not looking to create a super deep bowl. We're just looking to create something where you could even put a bowl inside of it so that you could have a food item in it or whatever, but you could have this decorative outer layer with your bowl. So we are going to stick this into another bowl that just helps stabilize it a little bit. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get right into this glue. So the first thing you want to do, like I said, if it's a bit thick, you can add some water to it. I think I'm going to add just a little bit to this. Here we go. This is actually water, not 7-Up. And give it a little bit of a stir. And there we go. And that just gives you a bit more to work with here as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a layer of glue onto this balloon. And so start in the very middle here, because that's where we're going to start building our leaves around on here. And give it a good, healthy layer of glue there, because what you want is the leaves to stick to this. And then ultimately we're going to have the leaves all sticking to each other. So I found with the leaves, there's kind of like a grouping here or a layering. You can certainly do it any way you want. But I noticed that there was the green here, and I thought that would make a great base. You know, if you're looking at general flowers and stuff like that, you usually have, this is your leafing on the bottom, and then you get into the actual plant. So you just want to overlap all of these guys nicely. Let's see, we'll put one more here. And you can also add a little bit of glue where that overlap is happening, so that you're sure that these guys are all going to stick to each other, because that's ultimately what we want. So add some more glue here, and we're going to be covering these completely as well. So whether you do that now or do it later, it's up to you. These ones seem to be going on really nicely. So you want to try and make sure you don't have any of the balloon color kind of coming through there and that. And then we are going to go ahead and we are going to cover these guys, and this is going to help seal them together. These ones are shaping around the balloon really nicely. So just make sure you can have like little spots of balloon showing through, but you don't want to have like big gaps. Then I'm going to add some more glue around the sides here. There we go. Slide everybody in there. And then you choose what color you want to go on next. I'm going to do the yellows. And again, you want them to overlap a little bit so they're kind of sealing the bowl. But you want to build it out as well. There you go. And again, you can put glue on whenever you want. Now you might find some of these are not wanting to kind of lay flat, and that's something that we can rectify later once the glue has dried. All right, so we've pretty much got everybody on here. And you might find that you have to go back just periodically and just reset some of them down a little bit, just because they've got a bit of a stiff shape to them as leaves, so they don't want to really kind of cooperate here. It looks like some of them. And so that is our bowl covered there. Add a little bit more glue in any little spots there just to make sure that it's got a good seal to it. And again, try and make sure that you've got as much of the balloon covered as possible. That all the leaves are linking together there so that they're basically hanging on to each other. And that, so I'm going to move that one aside. I got a wet paper towel here, clean up on that a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to bring this guy back over and let's give it a try. So something I did notice, and I was able to kind of go back, is some of the leaves were kind of lifting up again, and I didn't want to go back and get messy again with the glue. So what you can do is you can use a low temp glue gun and just do some little tacking where some of the leaves seem to be kind of pulling away a bit. And I might have to do a little bit when I pull this off of the balloon. So let me get my glue gun warming up there. And I'm going to take this guy out. And I'm going to pop the balloon. And this one came out way better than my first one. And that, so you see that, so if you give it maybe even a day or two of drying time, and that, see how easily the balloon came right out of that. And look at, this turned out really, really good. So like I did mention, I did go in and just do a little bit of tacking with my low temp glue gun and that. So if you do happen to have one, that would be, you know, a very quick help to just seal some of those things on there as well. And yeah, there's your bowl. And that, so like I said before, something you could do is you could take a bowl that's about this size or whichever, and you can place that inside, put some candies, some potpourri, something like that inside of it. And again, like I said, a little tea light. You know, when you've got things a little darker in the room, you'll have the light going through these wonderful colors here that we've got coming up for fall. But that is your decoupage fall bowl. So I love to see if you guys, how your guys's have turned out. And that, just a couple other things I added into your kits just to make it a little bit fun is I put in some fall coloring pages. So I've got one that's a little bit simpler for those just wanting to do casual, relax. This one here, a little more meditative, a little more detailed, and that with it. And then I did a fall word search in there. So, you know, keep our brains working, right? So get us into that fall vibe that's coming up right now and that. So, and then I've also added a bookmark that has a wonderful little quote on the back. It says, "We accept the love we think we deserve," from Stephen Chbosky, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And I think that was a book and it was a movie. And that, so we've got those in there. And if you would like to send me a picture of how yours turned out and that, or if you have any suggestions or comments, suggestions on anything you'd like to maybe see us try and share with others in the coming months, and we'll be getting into a whole new year here as well. And that you can certainly send me a message, or you can go on to our website, mornvillelibrary.ca, and you can certainly send something through the whole system, through the system there as well. So I hope you had a great time. Get a little sticky, a little messy, but sometimes that's what crafting's about. So have yourself a great day, and we will see you again in December for the next craft. November will be our spice that we do. So every alternate month we do a spice. So I'm just still figuring out what that one's going to be. So have yourself a great day, and we will see you next time.